If you like blonde transformations, then I hope you're in this one for the long haul because this bad boy took 6 hours. Keep watching to see how we tackled this blonde transformation. Don't forget to say hi if you follow me on Instagram at Christy at the Cottage.
Okay, so here's the lovely Madison, and today we're going to be doing her hair. We have quite a bit of work that we're going to be doing today. This is what we're aiming for. Something kind of like that nice bright blonde vibe with a cute little shadow root. So we have lightened her hair a little bit and it has been kind of frazzled. So I need to be really cautious on how we're going to be lifting her hair and to keep a close eye on it. We have done a little bit of a darker root at some points, but not all over. So I think we'll get a pretty good lift. And we actually have trimmed off a lot of the damaged stuff. So I think her hair will be in good condition for lightening it up. We'll just kind of keep an eye on it. And the products that we're using today are Schwarzkopf Blonde Me with Olaplex.
By the way, I totally have to give a disclaimer. I totally look like crap. I'm calling myself Quarantine Christy. I'm literally in a sweatshirt and pajamas. I'm going in to do her hair and we traded services. She ended up doing my sugaring, which usually makes my eyes water sometimes. So why wear makeup? So if I'm looking a little not cute, now you know why. When Madison and I were deliberating on how to go about lightening her hair, we were talking about possibly just going through and doing a complete bleach out, but we needed to be cautious of not getting it directly on her scalp because we didn't want to irritate it. But also, I noticed in the pictures that one of them appeared as if it was like a full highlight with a shadow root over it, because if you zoomed in, you could see in really fine detail that there were still highlights going all the way up to the root with a very translucent like shadow root going over it. So it still had a little bit of dimension. And one of the other pictures, it was definitely a bleach out with a shadow root. And so I wanted to know if she liked it having the dimension or if she likes having more of a harsher shadow root. And she definitely liked having it a little bit softer at the root and having a little bit more dimension. So that's why we decided that we're gonna go through and do her foil just on her hairline to kind of break it up and make it a little bit softer. So right now we're gonna go through and we're just gonna do her foils. Right now I'm using 2 different bleaches. One of them is 20 volume and the other one is basically like a really soft bleach water with 10 volume and Olaplex. And that's gonna sit for probably a couple of hours on her hairline just because I know how long it's going to take to do her hair. So I want to make sure that I have really weak bleach and it's going to lighten a lot, but I just want to make sure that we don't damage her hair where it could potentially already be kind of fragile. Right now, as I am foiling her hair, I really am just going and hitting her grow out. I'm not bringing it through the ends where it's already pre-lightened just because I don't want it to damage at all. So right now we're just going to let it process for a while, and then further on in the service we will go and check all of her foils and then run it through the ends later on in the service. For her foil, we're really just doing a partial. I'm going just through the back of her ears, and then I'll be doing the top section. But right now we're gonna go through and we're doing it pretty heavy around the face. I think we're doing about 5 or 6 foils back and then 3 or 4 foils right at the top of the money piece area. This is going to help it so that it blends really nicely. We're just going to be doing a really fine subsection and we're weaving that because we want to pack in a lot of foils because we're going for an overall lighter appearance. But doing really fine weaves is going to help it grow out really softly still. So that way, when she pulls her hair back, she's still going to have a really nice blend and it will help blend in any grays that she has, which was also one of her concerns when we decided that doing a foil around her hairline and as a partial would be the best way to go about this service. So this is all that we did on the sides, and then now I'm going to go across the top mohawk section and connect the two together. I decided to foil at the top of her head first because one of the things that I hate the most is when you're trying to get the bottom part of the hair, but then you have the top foils kind of laying over, or you start at the top and the foils are hanging down. So I decided that I wanted to start at the top. That way when I foil, I can keep my section nice and clean. All of the sides and the top of the foils and all the hair is going to be sitting right at the top. I don't have to worry about lifting it or moving around or clipping it out of the way. It's going to be processing. I'm not going to have to worry about it. If I want to check a foil, I can just pick one, unfold it, fold it right back up, and I'm not going to be disturbing any of the other foils that are processing. That way I can ensure that I'm not going to have any bleeders. I'm not going to have any drag from moving the foils around or anything. So that's why I decided to start at the top. So this is all that I foiled in the top mohawk section. And then these little subsections that are hanging out, I'm back combing and kind of painting through the ends. We are going for more of a super bright blonde, and we don't really want to have tons of dimension through the ends, just kind of a little bit softer at the root area. So all of these pieces that are hanging out, I'm going to go through and I'm going to brighten those up, and then we will clip all of those together and work towards the bottom.
Okay, so we just finished doing the top part of Madison's hair, and our goal is to be overall platinum with a little bit of a shadow root. And the reason why I'm just foiling this top part is because at the root area, we still want to have a little bit of dimension and break up the line a little bit more. But underneath, we're just gonna stay about half an inch away from the scalp and then bleach everything beyond that. And then we'll go through and do the shadow root, but we want to make sure that we still have dimension up here. And underneath, you're not gonna see it, so we're not really worried about that part. So now we're just going to apply her lightener all the way through the bottom half.
To lighten her hair, I'm still only using the Schwarzkopf 20 volume with Olaplex. And you guys will be amazed if you haven't used this lightener before, how great of lift you get from it. Her hair is naturally pretty dark and it's also very, very thick. So the amount of lift that we get from just using 20 volume is actually really, really great. And she was even really shocked to see how light her hair was getting just from using 20 volume. If you're new to doing bleach outs, or if this is something that really isn't anything that you've done before, it can be kind of intimidating. So you want to make sure when you're taking your sections that you can see through your partings. If you do too thick of a section, then you run the risk of not being able to get good enough saturation. So you definitely want to make sure when you do your section, make sure that it's very thin and fine, you can see through it. Make sure that you heavily saturate the hair. There's a lot of times where I see that stylists just don't apply enough bleach to the hair, and that alone can cause the lightener to dry out, or it's not saturated enough, so you don't get good enough lift. So make sure that when you're going through that you have a very fine section and that you do heavy saturation of bleach, and make sure that you're refreshing your bleach probably every 30 minutes. That way you get maximum lift. As we're finishing up applying all of her lightener here, you can see how much we applied everywhere. She has full saturation everywhere. The only places that we haven't gone through yet is right up in front of the hairline area. I want to make sure that I wait and save that till the very end. So I'm going to go through, now that this stuff has been processing for probably an hour at this point, go through and see how you're lifting. You can see here that it's lifting pretty good, but there are still some areas where it's kind of warm. So go ahead and reapply in those areas if you feel you need to. Right here, I am going to start pulling the foils out just to be safe, because I want to try and make sure I prevent any damage or breakage. So just towel dry the bleach. It's not going to spread onto the other hair because it will dry out. And then once the rest of her hair processes, then we will go through and apply towards the ends. Check out her bang area here and how bright it got. Even though we used mostly bleach water with just a little bit of developer, you can see how great of a lift we still got. So I highly recommend using Schwarzkopf if you haven't yet, just because it has such amazing lift. And then also it has a bond enforcer created into the lightener. So then I feel like I'm getting double protection along with the Olaplex. So I'm reapplying some 20 volume, and then we're gonna let her sit under a blow dryer for a few minutes. I'm just gonna go through and hit the panels one by one, and then we'll reassess after about 5 minutes.
That got quite a bit lighter, I think. I think it pushed it through that,
Oh, wow.
that orange stage. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's see how this bitch is doing. Luckily, this stuff is like been sitting for so long, it basically has no life left to it.
Oh, okay.
So running it in some of these areas it's not gonna really do anything except for just knock that stuff out really fast.
A few months ago, or a month ago, I'm not sure how long, during this whole quarantine, she had applied some pink shampoo or color. I'm not sure exactly what it was. So I know that it's not going to take long to get this out of her hair. So we're just going to use some of the old bleach that's been sitting for probably about 2 hours at this point. I don't want to use anything strong to cause any damage. So using something that's really, really weak, just enough to knock out that pigment, is all we need to do. We don't need to use anything that's strong in this area of her hair.
All right, so Madison's been processing honestly for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. And so her hair was probably like stuck at a level 8 for a while. We reapplied some lightener. We didn't like make a fresh batch or anything. And then we blow dried it. The heat really helped. There's still some little areas of warmth in there. Kind of ran it through the front area that's been sitting for like 2 hours, so this bleach wouldn't cause any damage, just enough to lift that color out. So now we're going to rinse her out, pre-tone her with purple shampoo, do an Olaplex treatment, and see how much warmth we have at that point, and go from there.
Okay, leave a comment if you've used this shampoo before. I got it thinking that I would have a strong like for it, but I feel like when you start working it into the hair, it actually turns really blue. So if you're not careful, I feel like it can turn the hair to be a little bit of a green tint to it. So as much as I really wanted to like the shampoo and how much I love Schwarzkopf, I feel like this shampoo just, it's like one of my last ones that I reach for if I don't have anything else. So that's just something to be cautious of, is to keep an eye on it if you haven't used it before, because it does kind of turn the hair a little bit green if you're not careful. Okay, so I'm about to mix for Madison's color, and I'm kind of limited on what I have to use just because beauty supplies are not open and I couldn't really order online. So I'm trying to tone right now for her brightest blonde. So I have a lot that I'm throwing in there. We're gonna tone for her brightest blonde, see what is left over that's still kind of brassy, and then apply her shadow root and just go from there. Here's what I was able to throw together. I wish I had like a 10 PA or a little bit more level 10. I feel like it would have been a little bit brighter, but this is all I had. Honestly, for mixing our color, because I'm kind of limited, I'm not really measuring. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
So Madison's been sitting now for roughly 10 minutes or so. And this top part where it's probably gonna be a little bit brighter from being in the foils packed in tighter to her head, got pretty blonde, but you can still see where there's a little bit of warmth showing through. And then back in this section here, I feel like it didn't get as toned down, which I knew was gonna happen because it's more like a level 8. So we're gonna go through, rinse this out, and then I think we're going to do our shadow root next. And then potentially tone this down to maybe like a level 8.
I always go through when I do a shadow root on my client, use my Olaplex number 2. This is going to help protect the ends from getting any color on areas that we don't want it. And then it will also help treat the hair from the service that it has just gone through. Okay, now Madison has done her first toner, and she still has a lot of brassiness in her hair and like the root area where we need to do the root shadow. So right now I'm going to mix for that. And we're not trying to do it too dark or too heavy, but I kind of want it to blend with her natural roots and probably be like more of a level 7 of a shadow root. So I don't know if any of you guys have used Schwarzkopf for any of your colors. Normally I use Paul Mitchell for toning for like bright blondes. I have used these colors like 7PA, 6A for root shadows, but I feel like they're a little bit too translucent and they don't minimize warmth as much as I would like it to. So one of my favorite formulas that I've come up with for a root shadow is 612 with 811. I feel like these are really good together. They create a really nice, pretty ashy tone, but you kind of have to be careful because if you do too much of the 612,
I feel like it can cause the hair to go a little bit more on the blue ash side. So maybe like a quarter of the formulation should be 612.
I apologize. I totally was an idiot and didn't record. I thought I was recording my application starting at the nape of the neck. So I basically started down at the bottom of her hair and I applied probably like 1.5 inches and then combed it through the ends. And now we're at the top area and I'm just applying it at her roots, combing it through the ends, and then now that we're right on her hairline, I want to try and preserve as much brightness as possible. So I'm really just going to tap it right on the hairline, and I'm not going to comb it through this area right now at all. Madison has sat for about 15 minutes now with this on her roots, and now I'm going to go through and kind of spot check where there's any brassiness. So I'm going to kind of go through the ends. I know that underneath has a little bit more warmth than the other areas. So I'm going through and applying it all the way through the ends just for the last 5 minutes to try and eliminate as much warmth as possible, but I'm still not going to run it through the ends around the front of her face yet because I'm going to do that at the very, very end. After I let this sit for about 5 minutes, I'm gonna go through and comb through all of her hair into the shadow root and apply it everywhere. I feel like that just kind of adds the double pigment of ash to help eliminate any warmth and just cool it down a little bit extra, and that will sit for about 2 minutes. Okay, here's Madison's before again, and then here is her after.
Yeah.
Wow, look at me. What's that? It's so bouncy still. Bro, it's hot now. Hello. So pretty.
Oh, it's a good blend.
By the way, when I curled her hair, I only used a temperature of 330. That way it didn't burn her color out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love the way this turned out. I was actually really happy that we got it nice and bright and blonde and super cool. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below and don't forget to like and subscribe.